Just a little background. Our dealership was established in 1919 in San Antonio, 87-year dealership. Same Jordan family for 84 years. 3 years ago, with my partner Mike Trumpeter, who was sitting there next to me, we bought it. We've both been there about 20 years, but we bought it from the Jordan family when they decided to retire. Last year we sold 2,519 new Fords and 2,400 used vehicles, and we are under construction. We open later this month. Okay, question for you. How many of you made your reservation for this intro show online? Raise your hand. Look around. Okay. How many used, there is an 800 number. How many used it to make your reservation? Anybody? One. Okay. How many, if you used the online through the travel agency, how many made your own airline reservation? Your own. I did too, by the way. Okay. And of those, how many did the airline online? Look around. Look around. Okay? Now, I would contend that you did that online because it was easier. You could do it on your time frame. And it might have even been cheaper in the case of some of the airlines, like the one I used from Texas. Okay? So why do we think sometimes that our customers are any different than we are? And I guess that's the whole point of this whole internet thing. They're not any different than we are. They're not stupid. They're not, naive. They're the same kind of people as we are. Our internet strategy is, and we believe that the internet is what newspapers kind of used to be. The internet we call an on-demand media. Everybody use that word, on-demand. Well, guess what? The newspaper is an on-demand media too. It's just the old-fashioned on-demand. It's the one that we use, the one I use. Okay? I mean, we didn't sit there with a television, sit in our living room with a television like this and say, well, honey, I'm going to buy a car, so let's just wait for an ad to come on. We didn't do that. We went to an on-demand media. On-demand media was a newspaper. We went to the classified. We threw out the rest of it because we know what? We know the car ads are in the classified. So we look for the on-demand. Well, the internet's the on-demand. Our internet grosses are higher than traditional media. They're nearly as high as our repeat customers, and they're the second highest front and back of all our media sources, because we track the grosses based on our media sources, and they're the second highest. Our internet process, scripts and templates, we do an automatic auto response, like a nanosecond after they send it in, it goes out. We do a personal call within an hour. We call later that day if they missed the first time. We do a price quote, and we do 1.9% over invoice, less the incentives. This is just what a lead looks like when it comes in. You're probably pretty familiar with this. In blue down there, Mike Kegley is our internet manager, and so he says grace over all this. This particular customer is a real customer, and she was looking for a vehicle for her daughter, wanted an Escape. So there's the auto response. That went out within a nanosecond. And I won't read it, but it's your typical, auto response. I will point out one thing. In the third line, you see it says the information you requested within 2 hours. It's a typo. We corrected that. I started looking at that, and so I guess the point here is, and it's kind of like my job in the dealership to see all the typos. My secretary hates me for that, but I guess I bring it out because it's important when you're communicating with these customers that we communicate with them professionally. And so have somebody look this stuff over if you're going to send it out to thousands of people. And then in this particular case, these are the notes after they made the phone calls. And he says the car's for the daughter. Mother has had Ford products and like them. Will probably do something before the summer is out. Remember that summer is out thing, and I'm going to speak to it in just a second. Our internet coordinator sets the appointments. If they can't, they hand it off to the people in our BDC. In your case, if you don't have a BDC, you can hand it off to another designated person. The automatic emails go out in those increments, those number of days. The coordinator meets with the customer face-to-face when they come in. Coordinator shakes hands with the customer, so they now meet face-to-face. And that's kind of a neat deal because, all of a sudden you're meeting somebody you've been communicating with. And so you see, you had some impression what they look like, whatever. We've all done that. And then the showroom process, they hand off to a salesperson. And we do that by what their batting average is. the salespeople batting average. And then we follow up no different than you'd follow up any other customer.